James, I've been thinking about this long and hard. Finally think I got our theme for this episode.
I'm just ready. I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to know what is it? What is it?
Well, here's the deal.
Okay.
We have three pretty different films that we're taking a look at trailers for tonight.
Okay, what do we got?
We have Crazy Rich Asians.
I've heard of it. Sounds crazy.
We have A Catcher Was a Spy.
That sounds spy-y.
I guess.
Sure? Yeah.
And we have Hereditary.
Sounds catchering-y. Because you catch it, because it's hereditary.
Oh,
but I tried to...
I got you.
Hey, James, what? That was
James,
terrible.
James, that was rich. All right, so here's...
Crazy bastard.
Here's my theme. Here's my idea for the theme, all right? Let's just strap ourselves in here. All
Okay,
right, so
I'm strapped. I'm ready.
first and foremost, inheritance. Every single one of these has something to do with inheritance.
Okay.
So, first off, A Catcher Was a Spy. The catcher inherits the role of the spy.
That's real rough. If
It's
anything...
it's the biggest stretch. That's why I started
All
there.
right. Carry on.
Number 2, Crazy Rich Asians. About a rich guy and falls in love with a woman. Woman isn't rich. Mom doesn't like her because she's not rich. So, they've come into inheritance of a lot of money. Specifically, the guy. Any kin that this man may have with this woman.
Sure. Okay.
I think it's a little bit better.
It is. We're going in the right direction.
Yes.
Now hit me with the last one here.
Hereditary.
Yes.
Inherit spookiness.
You're inheriting the haunt.
Yes.
Okay. I hate it, but I'll allow it.
To be fair, when I said I put a lot of thought into this, I put a pretty minimal amount of thought into it. I was in the bathroom before recording, and I was like, I need something. You know what? Maybe we can figure out something else.
Okay, I'm open for other ideas.
Yeah, we'll just work it out as we go along.
Okay.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Is Crazy too on the nose? Because it's we have Crazy Rich Asians,
Sure.
we have Hereditary, there's craziness.
There's
there.
craziness involved there.
I guess you could argue that being a spy is a pretty crazy profession.
Contemplating having to take a cyanide capsule is pretty crazy.
The trailer really hits that
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. So
With both fists.
Okay, so we have inheritance and we have crazy. Those are on the table. Let's just keep going. We'll think of some other connections.
We're going to shuffle the deck before we
Yeah.
get more into that. Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi everyone, I'm James.
This is Trailer Hitch.
Welcome to Trailer Hitch.
We are a trailer review podcast.
It's a
where
podcast.
We rate and review movie trailers.
Trailers of movies.
Yes. We go by scale of need to see more, or never need to see. If James and I both give something a need to see, we see that movie opening weekend, we report back to you in a segment called Trailer in the Re-Review, in which we review the film and the trailer in retrospect, having seen both. Before we do that, we got to get into some trailers. We got to talk about them. We got to decide if we want to see anything.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we don't want to see jack shit. Maybe this is one of those nights. Maybe it won't be. We're going to find out in a little bit, folks. But first, before we can talk about any of these trailers that we are struggling beyond all indelible measure to connect via a theme, we got to do a quick tune-up.
What are we going to do a tune-up of, Kevin?
We need to talk about Venom.
Venom. Is that what was in Paul Rudd's cyanide capsule?
It's also it's on the table. We're going to come back to it, see if we can workshop a better joke. So yeah, we wanted to talk about Venom because the first trailer we talked about, we were able to extrapolate a lot out of a Venom trailer without an ounce of Venom.
Yeah, not the suit, not the goop, really. There was the goop in the cylinder, but that's all we got, and that was at the beginning of the trailer.
It's a half measure.
I forgot about it at the end of the trailer already. That's how forgetful that was. So, this trailer came along and did what, Kevin? What did this trailer do?
We got more goop.
Yeah. There were two things that we said the first trailer needed that it didn't have. Goop and costume. And this one had both of them.
It had both.
So,
not an ample supply,
right?
Mind you. They're still kind of stringing us along.
Right, but it had them. Now that it has answered our prayers, what do we think about said answer?
It's fine.
It's definitely fine, right?
Yeah.
So, just real briefly, we see the costume. I'm really excited about. This is Venom. This is Eddie Brock. I like the look of the costume. Like, the concept of it.
Sure.
Not the effect
The
of
execution.
it. I don't like the effect. It's too shiny and glossy and cartoony.
That's really becoming a thing with superhero movies is, hey, we can just have a computer-generated person versus actually putting a son of a bitch in a suit.
Right.
Black Panther really doubles down on, we're just going to make Black Panther a CGI character.
Yeah.
It looks like Venom is going to be doing that exact same thing. Now, to be fair, this is goop covering a person. I'm not expecting it to necessarily look realistic because, frankly, that just doesn't go down. It's not going to look completely realistic, and I don't think we're necessarily looking for realism here, but definitely in, like, terms of the style, a lot of light is reflecting off of this goop.
Yeah,
And
man.
especially given that both trailers are really punching, like, the darkness, no parents of the whole matter, that it would be literally darker.
Yeah, totally. And I think the character we're presenting, though, with Eddie Brock and dealing with the dual personality thing, that's interesting.
That is.
It's one of my favorite parts of the trailer. I think Tom Hardy does a really good job of looking like a crazy person.
Yeah, and honestly, aside from he gets injected with some goop and Riz Ahmed is like, haha, there's really not that much to go off of in terms of, like, what is Venom actually going to be trying to do
Right.
in the story.
Yeah.
And it mostly just seems like Big Bad Corporation is like, you have our goop,
Yeah.
and Venom is just not having any of it. And
Right.
It's just like, no, I'm going to go about my day, I'm going to do my flips on my motorcycle, and you leave me right alone.
Yeah. The only other thing I didn't like about it, too, and I've talked about this in past episodes, is something called Frankenbiting, where you're taking audio bits and dialogue from different sources and different contexts and mashing them together to get your point across better in a trailer. And there was a lot of that in this trailer, and a lot of dialogue happening while someone's back was turned to the camera, so they really could have been saying anything, and it just, the inflections were off when he was talking with Jenny Slate. It was very weird and it didn't flow very well. So
I guess really the biggest thing I would say is we're really being strung along by Sony at this point, because the first one just straight up didn't have Venom in it, and everyone went, why?
Yeah,
and then
right.
It feels like Sony just rushed out another trailer and gave us one shot of some goop and
that's a good
Venom,
point. Yeah.
and we're just trying to do something to appease the fan base that was understandably a bit miffed that there was no Venom in the Venom trailer.
Yeah.
And right now it's like, okay, it's been a couple of trailers. Let's see what the actual conflict of the movie is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is Spider-Man the bad guy? You know, like, there could be any number of interesting things with this.
Right, yeah.
But we still don't have that much to go off of. But because we reviewed the first trailer, we're kind of strung along for every goddamn piece of this. So, for me, as of right now, I'm still at a need to see more.
Yeah, definitely need to see more.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Venom, you answered our prayers, but not the way we wanted to. Why don't you read our mind better? How about that? Shall we move on?
We are really ungrateful with our prayers, I guess. All right, I feel like we can inherit a better topic. Don't you think so, James?
I think that's crazy.
Maybe, like, pass it down from a family member, like Hereditary?
Maybe we finish the toy after the quiz. My name's Annie. My mom died a week ago. She was a very private woman, and she wasn't altogether there at the end.
Who's gonna take care of me
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
when you die?
Sorry, I recognize you from your mother. How is your relationship with your daughter? What?
Peter?
Charlie? Are you okay? Charlie? Please stop.
Charlie! Charlie!
Please stop. Charlie!
What's happening?
Kevin.
James?
Kevin.
James?
Charlie.
Charlie?
Charlie.
Charlie?
Charlie.
Charlie? I should be hammering some nuts.
Yeah, was that what? It was walnuts or something?
Walnuts.
Okay. Well, this is Hereditary, guys.
Yep. This is written and directed by Ari Aster. This is starring Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, Alex Wolff, Millie Shapiro, Ann Dowd, who, by the way, Ann Dowd, national treasure.
Not familiar with Ann Dowd.
Season 2 of The Leftovers.
Didn't watch The Leftovers.
Compliance.
Don't know what that is.
Basically, she's cornered the market on playing women who are slightly off.
What are women? I'm confused there as well.
They're like 51% of the general population. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, a random shout out for a cast member, because we here at Trailer Hitch, we know the top billed people, they hog all the credit.
Yeah.
All those people down at the bottom of the IMDb pool, they never get shouted out. That sucks. They were in a movie.
They do here, baby.
Yes.
They get shouted out here.
We're all about equality and fairness. So, to Georgia Puckett, who plays the student, good job, bud. You're in a movie.
Yeah, you're the future, man.
You are the future. We're trying to protect you with our lives.
That's right.
Okay, so this is Hereditary. This trailer starts off with a girl in a classroom, and a teacher tells her to stop playing with her toy. And apparently this is a pretty poppin' toy because a goddamn bird flies right into the window and breaks it.
Was that a bird?
It was a bird.
It was like a snowball in June, it looked like to me. But
So, right off the gate, we kind of established something is off about this little girl. So after this bird dies, we kind of get some more background information. Toni Collette plays the mom. Her mother has just died.
Yes.
Something was always off about the mom. She couldn't quite put her finger on it. Neither could the creepy-ass guy smiling at the wake.
Yeah.
And
Macklemore.
At the funeral.
Yeah, exactly. He was
clearly
looking real creepy.
Yeah. Then just weird shit starts happening throughout the family. And there's kind of this added note of this seems to all have come from the mother passing.
Toni Collette's mother,
yeah,
right?
There is
the grandmother.
Yeah, there is some sort of inherent evil being passed through this line in this generation. Whether the family can control said evil, like if it's making birds fly out windows, or if that evil is just attracted to them, is pretty unclear at this point.
Yeah.
But what we do know is some wacky shit happens. People banging their heads against desks. People are banging their heads against ceilings. And someone just straight up bursting into flame in the middle of the living room.
That was pretty intense.
It was pretty dope. Yeah, so I mean, out the gate, the atmosphere is really working for me. The jarring quick cuts within the trailer, I think, really serve it well. Mm-hmm. We have the repeated mantra of Charlie's name and the chopping of the walnuts kind of serving as our guiding track as the craziness unspurls.
Yeah, some sound effects too, in terms of her playing with a toy or biting into candy or something. It was kind of, so there are very like loud sound effects that are in it.
Yeah, and then at the same time, it does seem like it is really playing with the idea of inheriting evil and shit like that, and maybe to a degree mental illness, because we don't know whether these things that are happening are really happening or just the machinations of
the Macklemore-mations.
The Macklemore-mations.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
That Macklemore guy is going to tie this whole thing together, I swear to God.
Yeah. Every time they get into the car, they hear that One Love song play, and it's just like, God damn, he's there again. Drives him crazy. That's the film.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, like, there does seem to be a lot going on here that I find pretty interesting. James, how about you?
Yeah, I definitely found it unsettling in like an entertaining way. The sound effects were really great and jarring and that kind of stuff.
Oh, they're hitting the weird notes.
Yeah, and it works really well when you edit it.
Do you wonder how they like come up with that stuff? Like, do you think they go into like the orchestra pit and it's just like just seize a bit with that violin?
Well, no, it's like they just have people start playing and then you just chuck shit at them as they're playing and been like, I think we got it there. One more for safety. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it, and it's. The performances look really upsetting in a good way again. Yeah. And this wasn't on my radar at all. And this is actually the second trailer. This completely missed my radar. It happens. There's literally thousands of trailers, so it's kind of hard to keep track sometimes. Yeah, I'm happy I caught it this time around. You're the one who saw it and put it on my radar, and I'm happy for it because I thought it was interesting.
I feel like you're leading into a but.
There's no but really. It's just I found it interesting. No, there is a but, I guess. No, but it didn't like really blow me away though in terms of what it may have done for you.
Okay.
As I keep saying time and again, this isn't my genre. But that's okay. Like, we've watched trailers that I'm like, this isn't my genre, but I need to see this. Or I don't know. I can't really think of any other ones.
It was basically just
the top
Stephen
of my
King's
head.
It
Yeah.
was the only one you did that for.
I think it's interesting and I think it's engaging, but it doesn't have me going, I gotta see that movie. It's essentially at a really strong need to see more for me.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at with it. I don't really know what else it could show me. I don't think just showing me another trailer with just more weird shit is gonna quite do it for me, and I don't really know what would do it for me. Maybe, connections between characters.
This really okay, yeah.
That's
fair.
Everyone is kind of like on their own little character island in this trailer, and there's that one moment with Toni Collette and her daughter, and she's talking, and it's like, oh, it's okay, I'll take care of you, but what are we gonna do when you die?
Which is like, a pretty big question to ask. I think it's a question that we've all thought as kids, but hearing it come out is a little strange. And then the response of Toni Collette is like, what?
Yeah.
And the kid just, fucking gaping at her from her bed. And
you
then
can't just ask someone when they're gonna die, Charlie.
Yeah.
It's Charlie, right?
Yeah. Kids say the darndest things.
They did say the name
kill the
Charlie.
Darndest birds.
Yeah, they kill the darndest birds. So yeah, other than that moment, that was like a nice little moment between two characters, but otherwise there isn't really like interaction between multiple characters. It's just kind of like this one person going through this one crazy weird psycho thing. This one person going through this one crazy weird psycho thing. You know what I mean? So maybe I think a little bit more interaction might do it for me. Who knows?
Sure. And I think for me, I totally see the point that you're making. I
feel a butt coming on here, Kevin.
You sure caught it, didn't you? I'm just really digging the style of this.
Sure,
right now.
yeah.
And even though right now it does kind of feel like a familiar, not necessarily story, like I think it's kind of finding some interesting themes.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's that it's like, oh, I've seen this before. I wouldn't say that about this.
But I mean, like, certainly a creepy kid and a bunch of creepy people being like, you're hanging out with the creepy child, are you? Like, that's certainly a well-tread genre.
Sure.
And I think the riffs that it's doing on it are enough for me to stay engaged with it.
Okay.
And certainly, again, someone just straight up bursting into flame in a living room, well, I'm there, need to see.
Excellent. Okay.
All right.
That was Hereditary.
That certainly was Hereditary. It really does feel like it was the person who asked you out to the prom. They didn't do anything wrong. They were completely respectful. But you
I'm just not
want to spend the night with them.
I'm just not attracted to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't apologize for that. That's just not how things work. It's just it happens. That's life. That's what all the people say.
Good catch. Almost as if you were a spy at some point.
The next movie that we're going to talk about,
Which is also a spy.
The
Catcher was a spy.
The Catcher was. He was a spy.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
You're an unusual man, Mr. Bird. You speak 7 languages. You're an athlete. You're more than up to the physical requirements of the job.
What job?
Since this war began, we have reason to believe the Germans are working on a fission bomb.
The scientist leading the atomic program is Werner Heisenberg. We must get to him and find out how close the Germans are to a bomb.
Welcome to the OSS, Mr. Bird. Millions of lives at stake. A 5% chance of losing the war to a weapon like this, you do what has to be done. You can't allow yourself to be captured.
All right, let's see if this drops the ball. The Catcher Was a Spy is directed by Ben Lewin It is written by Robert Rodat, who wrote Saving Private Ryan.
He wrote that?
He wrote that.
Fantastic.
This is starring Paul Rudd, Connie Nelson, Mark Strong, Guy Pearce, Sienna Miller, Paul Giamatti, Jeff Daniels, and a random shout-out is going to go to Frankie Imbergamo, who plays Red Sox fan. Hey, Frankie. Hey! Anyway, what is this movie? The Catcher Was a Spy starts off with Paul Rudd aptly being a catcher. He is a peak athlete. He also speaks 7 languages. Why? We don't know. But he speaks 7 languages.
Sure. I think it's more like the OSS is attracted to him because he's an intellectual who's also an athlete. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, you're perfect for the job. And we get a reverse on Paul Rudd, who's like, what job? But
where am I? Who are you? How did I get here?
And the answers to all of those is somewhere secret. We can't tell you. You're a spy.
Here's a poison pill.
Pretty much, yeah. And so then we get a bunch of shots of, Paul Rudd training. Seems like he's doing a pretty bang-up job of it.
Yeah.
Seems to be a crack shot. Seems to be able to kung fu all of these other cadets in this.
Looks more like jujitsu.
Yeah, sure.
Body weight throwing, you know what I'm talking about?
And, they make it a point to be like, yeah, and if you get caught, here's your cyanide pill. And the camera really holds for a bit so that way you can see just how fucked up Paul Rudd thinks this is.
Yeah.
And then we get Paul Rudd, kind of doing some spy stuff. Like, it really seems to be a film that's more drawn to kind of like the quieter espionage. You're not going to get a laser watch or
could you imagine
women named after genitalia.
Yeah,
this seems to be a pretty smart, and it's not what people are saying, it's what they're not saying. It's the jazz of spy, basically. And so right now I personally feel underwhelmed, and it's hard for me to pinpoint why. I think that it's shot pretty well. It certainly does a solid job of evoking like a 40s feel.
Yeah, totally. What do you think of Paul Rudd in a semi-serious role here?
I am totally willing to believe that, and I'm totally willing to go along for the ride. And basically, it just kind of seems like he's being Paul Rudd, but with the smarm turned down.
I was going to say, your term willing makes it sound like you're not turned off by it, but you're also not completely sold yet.
I don't really have enough to go off of to say, man, Paul Rudd looks really good in this. Right now, he just, to me, feels like Paul Rudd, but he's not hammering sarcasm at it.
I agree, yeah. So other than that, right off the bat, this reminds me of like The Imitation Game in terms of style, obviously theme and plot, World War II stuff. And
yeah, in that sort of sense, it feels like The Imitation Game on a smaller scale, though.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it seems like it's not necessarily just like straight up, this will end the war. We're just trying to figure out how close they are to a bomb.
Yeah.
We'll probably try and stop them if they have a bomb.
We'll take that step when we get there.
Exactly.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, listen, Catcher, fucking sit this out. We now have the information. Go back to speaking Taiwanese or whatever other 6 languages you know.
In color temperature, too. Like, I don't know who the cinematographers for both movies are, but it looks like it could be the same cinematographer. It just they look very similar. So I like that aspect of it because I really, really loved The Imitation Game. Like, I saw that twice in theaters and I just was really impressed by it. The other things I liked about it were a lot of in the first half of the trailer. So like you said, we get a lot of Paul Rudd just being kind of briefed on what he's being vetted for. You get him training in Army, like basic training. It kind of caps off with the poison capsule. Up until the poison capsule, I was totally in. The music was really fast paced, but also not super intense. It was quiet and methodical, but fast. It was fast though. And when he was shooting the gun in the training montage, it went with the music really well, and it just was keeping things at a good clip. And then the poison pill thing happened, and it, rightfully brought things to an abrupt stop, because that is a very jarring, hit the brakes, what type of moment. And then I feel like the remainder of the trailer after that was more or less forgettable and just kind of dragged. There were things in it that I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Or Paul Rudd's like, I haven't killed a man, if that's what you're asking me. And the guy's like, it's not as hard as you think. Mm-hmm. That was a really good line of dialogue that brought me out of the funk of, oh, right, I wasn't paying attention. And then right after that, I started not paying attention again. Until the end, and then there was the chess move I kind of liked, and then the line, your move. Like, that was good. I liked that ending. But yeah, the second half just kind of dragged for me.
Yeah, and once he becomes a spy, it, for whatever reason, feels substantially less interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly, the cyanide pill thing, my brain immediately went to that Team America joke where it's like, if you get caught behind enemy lines, use this, and he passes a hammer over. And once a piece of parody or satire really kills a joke about that particular thing,
it's hard to take it seriously.
It's really hard to take it seriously or not think about it anymore. And this does feel like a film so far that is completely indebted to the tropes of the genre versus trying to find new ways to tell that story.
Sure, yeah.
Even though the cinematography is really strong, is there anything that necessarily distinguishes the cinematography between this and The Imitation Game and Saving Private Ryan?
I mean, the cinematography in Saving Private Ryan is better. I'll just say that.
Sure.
But distinguishing it from Imitation Game, no. Like, it almost looks like an identical twin in terms of the look of the film.
Yeah.
It was a really strong start. I thought it stuck its landing, but the second half of the trailer up until the ending was very meandering for me. So this is a need to see more for me.
Yeah, and I'm at a need to see more too. Like, there's a kernel of interest in here. I'm hoping it pops to a full piece of popcorn.
I gotcha.
But as of right now, this is like a kernel at the bottom of a bag. I'm just watching the microwave right now. I'm going to have to open the door soon, otherwise the things that have already popped are going to burn.
I gotcha. It's a good analogy, Kevin.
Thank you.
Speaking of analogies, I've just come up with a good theme.
Oh, what's up?
Maybe it's not good. You'll be the judge.
I know. I mean, we're batting zero right now.
It's kind of similar to Inheritance.
All right.
But I think it's a more fitting word. It's just receiving. It's not a sexy word, Kevin, but it's a word that fits. So we got Hereditary. You're receiving things through genetics.
Yes.
You got Catcher.
Receiving a ball.
Was a spy, receives a ball.
Receives a cyanide pill, yeah.
Crazy Rich Asians.
What are we receiving? We're going to find out in just a second.
Oh, very good.
Right. We've been dating for over a year now, and I think it's about time people met my beautiful girlfriend. What about us taking an adventure east?
Like Queens?
Singapore. Colin's wedding. Don't you want to be my family?
I hardly know anything about them. Every time I bring them up, Nick changes the subject. Maybe his parents are poor and he has to send them money.
We'll take a bags and get you checked into first class.
Nick, we can't afford this. So your family is rich?
We're comfortable.
That is exactly what a super rich person would say.
I want money.
1.2 million.
That's what I want.
The Nick you're dating is Nick Young?
Yeah, you guys know them or something?
Hells yeah. They're just the biggest developers in all of Singapore.
That's what I
Damn, Rachel. It's like the Asian Bachelor.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I thought you were having trouble. That's why I bailed you out. What's
receiving.
Up?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
Receiving shade from the mother-in-law. Boom. Receiving attitude.
Yeah.
Biatch. Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
You ain't swerving. Now.
Ooh, very good. Very good.
This is Crazy Rich Asians, directed by John M. Chu, and this is starring Constance Wu, Michelle Yeoh, Henry Golding, Gemma Chan, Awkwafina, Ken Jeong, Jimmy O Yang. Our random shout out is going to go to Victoria Loke, who plays Fiona Cheng. Hey, Victoria. Good job, bud.
Yay, crazy.
Yes, so this starts off, a woman falls for this guy. They've been dating for a while, and finally he pops the question. No, not that question. It's, do you want to come and meet my family? And she's taken aback because he always seems to shun the idea of talking about his family. She's like, all right, cool. Yeah, man, we're going east, like to Queens. And he's like, no, get on a plane. We're going to Singapore.
Yeah.
And
it's a good joke, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's like East Queens? No, Singapore.
They are flying first class, and she's thinking, we can't afford this.
Yeah.
And he says, our family's pretty comfortable. And she says, that's what you say when you're really rich.
Yeah.
And she gets to Singapore, finds out, yeah, the family's really rich. And
really comfortable.
Really comfortable. And they are apparently like this development tycoon family.
Yeah.
And the mom takes one look at his son's girlfriend and goes, nope.
Yeah.
You don't have what it takes.
Right.
And
they're not just super rich. They're also they're public figures.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows them.
Yeah.
I think that's important in terms of why this goes the way it goes.
I will be interested to see how they dip and swerve from the woman in the relationship not necessarily knowing if they are that level, if they're Kardashian famous. In the
Sure,
story.
yeah.
Or it might be, like, I think between both of us, we can probably name 0 people in fashion. And if we were to date the daughter of a fashion tycoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, between both of us, we can't name a fashion person. So,
Versace. He's doing some cool shit.
He's dead.
Did some cool
shit. Yes.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. He's dead. He can't come after you. So, Crazy Rich Asians, so far, my vibe with this, definitely romantic comedy to the max.
Yes.
If you are a fan of romantic comedies, I'm telling you, run, don't walk to this trailer. This seems like it's going to be right up your alley. It's got the sassy best friend.
Yep.
It's got a potential mother-in-law who's just an asshole.
A monster-in-law.
For no reason.
Yeah.
We have some touches of class in there, too. And if that sounds like that's your bag, all right, pack them, baby. Get on that plane to Singapore. Have fun.
Kevin, knowing what you know about me, is this a genre that I'm interested in?
You are.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes,
I'm glad
yes.
you
You're
know
not
me.
going to pull Hereditary
You
here.
know me so well. You're right. I love myself a good goddamn rom-com. It's just so goddamn delightful.
So hit us with the praise, sir.
I was smiling the whole time. That first joke you get hit with right away is really solid. The Queen's East joke. Second joke right away is, oh, we're comfortable. Yeah, that's something super rich people say. I'm like, the quirky best friend was really funny too. The hilarious guy near the end too, who was like, I'm so happy someone is standing up to her. You though, not me. God, no, they can't even know I'm here. Like, I laughed
That's
so
my favorite
hard.
joke in the trailer.
Yeah, it was really good. It's colorful. It looks like it doesn't have that.
It's vibrant.
It doesn't have that normal aesthetic that you would see in a romantic comedy. That they all
mostly flat.
Like they all kind of look the
they
same.
Make sure the reds pop.
The
a
reds
lot.
really pop. A lot of white people.
Yeah.
So
Changing
changing it up. I really dig it. You know. It just looks really relatable too. It's just a human story about getting into a relationship and meeting the family and it not going well and not going exactly the way you want it to. I'm a sucker for romantic comedies, and this one's no different. Great song choice in the beginning. Money. That's what I want. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. And it teases the song before it really gets to it with some of the editing style. I thought that was very well handled, too. Those are the things I liked about it, Kevin.
Very cool.
Yeah. Crazy. Rich Asians. Yeah.
Yeah, and I am enjoying some of the comedy that's present through the trailer, and I would agree. Like, from a visual standpoint, it is a bit more diverse than most romantic comedies, both in a visual color palette sort of way and in a literal sort of way, in that there's like no white people. And honestly, it's about time.
Well, it's just like
because certainly Asian Americans are among the least represented in cinema. And to have a cast that's nearly all Asian, at least as far as the trailer is concerned, it made me step back a second and go, fuck, it really shouldn't have taken this long, but I'm happy it's here.
Well, yeah, and it's like what's really exciting about it, what's really refreshing about it is you watch it and you can still completely relate to like all these characters. Like maybe not the super rich people, because I'm not super rich. I'm not super comfortable.
I can imagine it.
Yeah,
I just don't know if it'll ever happen.
I've never been in first class with a hot tub before.
Nope.
I imagine it's cool.
I'd have have to think.
Yeah. The girl is the main character, though. The woman is the main character, and that's the person that you relate with. And I could relate with her, and like that's really refreshing that you can have that. You don't have to have white people in a movie for me, a white person, to relate to it.
That should be an inherent lesson. Hopefully studios are going to be getting that message pretty soon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was a good point. Very diverse.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's
right.
not hiding the fact
sort
that...
of in the title, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the things that I wasn't crazy about.
Yeah. Lay them on me.
I didn't think were rich.
Lay them on me.
Right now, when I said, oh yeah, if you're a fan of romantic comedies, Run, Don't Walk, and all that sort of stuff, I'm not a big romantic comedy guy. I like the big ones. I like the Lemonades.
I'm not familiar with Lemonade.
Lemonade. Like the big ones where it's like, wow, this is like a clear example of the R&B genre. I might not like R&B at all, but I think Lemonade is dope as fuck.
That was all an analogy.
Yeah, totally. From the get-go. Sorry, I should have thrown Beyonce's name in earlier, as you should do with most conversations. And with romantic comedies, I really love the When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
And, kind of like the tentpole movies in that genre. But for the most part, I tend to find them a little bit lacking. So specifically, looking at this trailer, something that I kind of feel I'm missing right now is a little bit more conflict, I guess. Because when I was saying the themes of family and class, I really can boil it down to one word, because right now I don't really know what it's going to necessarily be saying about those things.
Okay.
Specifically in terms of more conflict, does her perception of her boyfriend change once she finds out that he is loaded beyond all belief? Because right now we just see her reacting to that news. I don't
and
really
then
see
meeting
it.
The family right away.
Yeah. And then I don't really see how
the
if at all,
fallout from that,
if anything changes off of that. And the trailer treats it like it's a pretty huge bombshell too.
From what we know about romantic comedies, usually it goes, how dare you not tell me you were super rich or / super poor, depending on what movie we're talking about.
But damn those ass.
But I wanted you to love me for the person I am, not for my money, type of thing. And so maybe they just bypass that because we've seen that conflict before.
And I'm kind of hoping that there's more to the conflict than just that.
Hopefully,
too. And I feel like there's got to be. I mean, rich is in the goddamn title. They're probably gonna be hammering in some class shit.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to see a little bit more of that, and especially the stuff with the mom. I think, it's kind of stock for that genre to have the evil mother-in-law. But right now, there just seems to be something I find missing to it. And I think having a little bit more there for the conflict, if there was a second trailer that more so focused on, okay, we're just looking at the fact that he is loaded beyond all belief and she is not, how does this go? Or going in the other direction of, we're looking at the family aspect of the story, watch us go. And even if you just need to give me one anchor, and then I will probably sink into a theater and see this. But as of now, without that, I'm probably going to have to go with the need to see more for right now.
All right.
But again, I will note, kind of like you do with every horror movie, I'm not that predisposed to this sort of genre.
It's not your bag, man.
Yeah, I don't really tend to seek it out that much unless it is a huge movie.
I gotcha.
But how about you, sir?
Well, to bring it back to Beyonce for a second, because everything should be brought back to Beyonce.
Fucking bless. Bayhive right here.
No, that's all I got, though, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to name drop her one more time.
Sure.
No surprise to anyone. It's a need to see it for me. This is my kind of bag, man. I don't know why I keep doing the Austin Powers
feels
thing,
right.
but it feels right now. I just think it looks fun and refreshing and interesting. So there you go. Basically, you're wrong is what I'm getting at.
No, I don't feel like I was wrong about the catcher was a spy. I mean, if what you're getting at is if you think I'm wrong about Hereditary, that's incorrect. You're actually incorrect about Hereditary.
Man, there's a lot of incorrectness going on here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how to get out of it.
None of it politically incorrect because we're PC as fuck now.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Very good. Yeah, that's excellent.
See what I did there? I took a potential conflict between us, turned it around, made it positive.
You flipped the genre on its head, Kevin.
It's what I'm here for.
That's what we're here for.
Well, it's been a long day looking at this main drag of trailers.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like I could go for the showroom right now.
Let's just breeze through.
So we're going to be doing a segment here, folks. It's called the teaser trailer showroom.
Yeah.
Or just trailer showroom, where in which typically when a trailer comes out that's like a minute or like a minute and 30, doesn't really give us anything about what the movie is proper. It's just giving you like this little taster. It's the appetizer to the appetizer. Typically, there isn't enough to say about those films in order for us to feel like we can give a proper rating to them.
Right, yeah.
But we still want to touch on them because they tend to be bigger movies and because studios seem to be doing this a lot now.
Yep.
So, we do the segment where in which, like a showroom, we sort of walk around the showroom floor, we take a look at the little sticker, we squint at it and be like, God damn, that gets a lot of good city miles. And then we might potentially investigate that trailer a little further once they work out some of the kinks with the model.
Exactly, yes.
So, the first one we are going to be talking about is A Simple Favor. I have a simple favor, James.
Hopefully I can grant your favor.
Can you give us a little spiel of what's going on here?
Okay, sure, yeah. Well, this is a very interesting teaser. There is actual footage, but a lot of the times it does that Polaroid effect where it freeze frames on something, and then it fades to black. When it fades to black, that is the only time you're getting the audio, the dialogue. That's interesting, man. And then it comes back. We got some motion, and you think you're going to get someone actually saying something, but no, it takes another screen grab, it fades to black again, then it takes its time and does more dialogue during the black. I thought that was all really interesting, not to mention that this is clearly some sort of mystery.
Yeah.
The style is very cool, though, too. I think it's
really digging the style.
I think it's sexy, but it's also very just like confusing in a charming way, but there's also like dark sides to it.
It's a very charming take on noir.
Yeah, yes,
because noir is typically categorized by lots of shadows, lots of rain.
Yeah.
And we're getting the polar opposite. We're getting, these really beautiful women who aren't necessarily like dressed to be sexy or anything. They're just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
Are incredibly relaxed, like they're enjoying like these really smooth cocktails.
Yeah. It's their charisma that's giving off the sexy vibe.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm talking about. It's their charisma and it's the attitude of the trailer that just screams sexy, but also like, what the fuck is going on in this trailer though too? Like something is not on the up and up here.
Yeah. And it does definitely do a good job of, I like that style because it gives you just this little snippet of like this image, and then it's almost like now you remember this important piece of that puzzle.
Yeah, you're focusing on that last still frame when that dialogue is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a really cool way to set up for a trailer.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm really impressed by this teaser. And even though I don't know a damn thing about the movie, just judging by its IMDb, it's directed by Paul Feig, who...
He directed it?
Yeah, this is really stepping outside of his usual bag.
Yeah. From what this teaser is implying, anyway. Who knows? The full trailer could be like, just kidding, it's a screwball comedy, guys.
Right. But at least for this, I know we don't give ratings here, but like, I want to hop in this fucking trailer and drive it off the lot now.
Right. I mean, keep it to yourself. Don't tell the attendants.
Yeah, no, I'm telling them I'm taking it for a test drive. I'm giving them your ID. I really dug this.
It's really good, right?
Yeah.
The only thing is, I think it's a terrible name. The movie is called A Simple Favor.
It's a very noir name. Like, noir has a lot of those, like, Kiss Me Deadly.
Sure.
A lot of, like, seemingly generic titles that have significance within the actual thing itself.
Like, when it went to that big, all the photographs forming the big question mark, and it said, "What happened to Emily?" I thought that would have been a good title for the movie. I thought, What Happened to Emily? ? It's more memorable, I think, than A Simple Favor.
I agree that A Simple Favor isn't really memorable.
It's hard to remember.
And bear in mind,
yeah,
it's more so I empathize where they're coming from.
Sure.
I'm not necessarily in love with the title.
The title, okay.
Because it is very generic.
Yeah.
But it is kind of hearkening back to that classic noir. But I'm a huge fan of that classic noir, and I think that this does enough interesting things to kind of update and renovate it in 2018.
Yeah.
Where I'm really interested.
Well, let's move on before a manhunt gets started on us for wanting to steal this trailer.
Ooh, very good. All right, well, we're going to go and take a look at Manhunt. This is a John Woo movie that is coming to Netflix. And the first thing I will note, just because we kind of took this for a little test spin, we gave it a watch, and it's making some weird noises. Wouldn't you say, James?
Look, it's obvious what the noises are supposed to be. I can just tell they're not coming from the things they're supposed to be coming from. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, man. These sound effects in this are noticeably laughable.
Maybe it would be less noticeable if there was actually any dialogue at all. But there's not.
My impulse is it's probably in Chinese. But I think that they're really trying to sell it on here's all of the action. And I'm pretty sure Netflix's mindset is, oh, but if people know they're going to have to read during this, no one's going to want to watch it.
Sure, yeah.
Which is sad, and I agree, because having that dialogue, whatever it may be, could have potentially distracted us from the noise the silenced gun made. It is literally the pew, pew.
It's not just the gun. Like, it's the gun kicks you off.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, that was just an added sound effect. You're not helping your audience sustain their disbelief that this sound effect is coming from that gun.
Right.
Like, it doesn't sound like that. The explosions don't sound like that. Someone sliding across a catering table doesn't sound like that. It just, every sound effect in this trailer sounded like a joke. To the point where I almost was like, is this a comedy? Like, is this a satire? But it finished, and I went, no, it can't be, because there would have been at least one other thing to hint, the hint, that not sound effects,
right,
that hints at the fact that it's humor. It's humorous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah.
And it's mostly just shots of shooting, and perplexing enough, the trailer ends with a guy sort of limping down a tunnel, and that's it. Without really any context.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I'm a film dork, I can spot the reference to The Third Man, or at least what I think is a reference to The Third Man.
Sure.
You know, that's a classic noir. Maybe John Woo is making a reference to that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But putting it at the end of this trailer after all these shots of shit getting blown up just seems bizarre. And so I don't know if they knew how to market this movie, which now makes me think, well, how much action really is in this fucker then? And I have seen, and I think like we've all seen like Mission Impossible 2 or God forbid Paycheck. You know,
Yeah.
we've all seen English language John Woo movies, or at least like film nerds have seen at least one. I have actually seen one of his earlier Chinese movies.
Face Off.
Classic, but like A Better Tomorrow 2 or like Hard Boiled. And like right before he broke into Hollywood, his movies got maudlin as fuck. Like they were really melodramatic on top of being super violent. It was a strange combo. I don't know why I get the vibe that this is kind of going back to that period of John Woo, but I kind of get the vibe that it's going back to that period of John Woo, or at least it has the cluelessness to have like these wonky ass sound effects. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I'm not quite as crazy about Manhunt.
Me neither. Moving right along.
Yeah, we're gonna move right along to Robin Hood.
Okay.
This is not for me. How about you?
I think this looks like fun.
Really?
Yeah. It's literally like no part of it can be taken seriously in terms of the actual period in which it's supposed to be set.
It's just...
But I kind of like how devil may care they are with some of those details. Like people are just...
they are fast and loose.
People are just packing Molotov cocktails and... Like, even people's hairstyles are very much... I think it's Maid Marian is supposed to be the woman in the trailer. She's just got, like, a ponytail and just like a pretty not that old looking dress. The style in general just feels relatively modern. I think it looks
They're trying to Sherlock Holmes Robin Hood. And you can tell from my yawn how I feel.
But it's not though. Oh, you mean Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
Sure. Which I liked those Sherlock Holmes. So I don't know. This could.
I like the first one. I know I saw the second one. I don't remember it.
Sure. I think this looks like fun, and I like the look. I knew that Taron Egerton, I knew was going to play Robin Hood in this just from like casting announcements from a while ago. But I do appreciate how in the trailer they spun it as, oh, we're not sure who this Robin Hood guy, and then you actually see Egerton like on the flip side of it talking to the elite and just being like, oh, this guy's a menace. Kind of like Christian Bale's Dark Knight in The Dark Knight. I liked that aspect of it too. I thought that was interesting. So I liked it, Kevin. Sue me.
I will do no such thing. You are allowed to like what you like, and I'm allowed to dislike what I dislike. And man, yeah, Robin Hood just didn't do a goddamn thing for me.
Sure.
It's amazing. Yeah, like the playing fast and loose with history, I'm fine with it. I just wish the movie, like, it's tongue-in-cheek, but I don't think it's tongue-in-cheek enough. Like, it's really trying to sell me on bows and arrows are badass, and you're just never getting that out of me. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not happening.
But what about Hawkeye, Kevin?
The lamest Avenger?
But what about Arrow?
God, I know people who work that. You're trying to trap me right now. I ain't going down that rabbit hole. No, thank you.
But what about?
You're struggling to name another bow and arrow character.
What about
you?
just go bow hunting?
Nah. Like, what the deer ever do to me? No, I'm not doing that. So I mean, look, clearly, just from the ground up, this is just not built for me, and there are obviously people who this is built for, namely James. I'm just warning, just as your friend, I will remind you that King Arthur looked like it would be right up your alley, and you abhorred your time with it. Just throwing it out.
I was gonna say, like, this does remind me of the trailer for King Arthur in The Legend of the Sword, which I stand by was an amazing trailer. But that doesn't mean that the movie's going to be that bad, Kevin. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin and I will go see this movie and we'll let you know how it is. Isn't that right, Kevin?
If you come see Hereditary with me, we'll talk.
I'd do that, actually. I'd make that trade.
Shit. All right. Well, I'm going to have to mentally... When does this movie come out? Oh, November? Okay.
Yeah, we got time.
I have plenty of time to stall.
Yeah.
Then. All right, cool. Well, I think I'm good with this here showroom. I think I'm also good with this here episode.
I'm ready to get the H out of here.
Okay.
H out of Dodge.
There you go. Thank you for self-censoring. There may be children or small pets listening.
Shut the hell up, Kevin.
Thank you. All right, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. If you liked what you heard, if you didn't like what you heard, feel free to email us at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. Let us know what your thoughts are. If there's something in particular you'd like us to review, something you would like us to revisit, something you would like us to not think about ever, just email us. Let us know. Otherwise, you can hit us up on our Facebook page. You can hit us up at Twitter at TrailerHitchPod.
Yep.
You can also find us on iTunes. If you can give us a rating and a review, that'd be great.
And subscribe, guys. That way you get the episode just downloads to your device for free or right away.
There may be surprises. You might not, especially if you're a WordPress listener. You know, if you're like, oh yeah, I just check this every couple of weeks because that's when they put up new episodes. You might be late to the game on some surprise episodes that may or may not be happening.
Oh my gosh, are you talking about like bonus episodes?
I'm not implying that's gonna happen soon.
Just maybe you guys are just gonna have to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff.
I guess so. It would be really easy if you subscribe though. Which, by the way, while you're looking at iTunes, you might be like, wow, that cover art's great. Yes, that came from Rachel. You can find her at Mighty Creations on Instagram. She's awesome. Please check out more of her stuff. We commissioned her for the artwork. You should commission her for shit because clearly she does a bang up job. Thank you so much to Danny Schmitz from Lost in the Name for her awesome intro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Casey Clowers for a bitchin' outro, which you are about to hear momentarily.
We did not commission neither of them. They just gave those to us for free.
Just out of their own, the goodness of their own hearts, and we're forever indebted.
So don't bother them is all I'm saying. Don't bother them with commissions.
Yeah, that's why we don't link their Facebook or their Twitter. But yeah, that's all I got, James. How about you, Boo?
That's all I got as well. By the way, Beyonce.
Beyonce,
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
All right, favorite Beyonce song.
Favorite Beyonce song?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with much of her like single stuff, but I liked Destiny's Child, so I'm a Survivor is like really super solid.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm a Survivor.
No. We're backtracking this a little bit. You're not that familiar with her solo stuff.
How about
the Bayhive would have your head
how about
right now.
Gold Member?
And they deserve to have your head.
I'm going with Gold Member. That is not Destiny's Child. That is just Beyonce.
Nothing off of Lemonade did anything for you, sir?
Look, I thought it was fine. What's your favorite Beyonce song, Kevin?
Daddy Lessons.
Daddy Lessons. You did play that one for me, and that's like the country-esque one, right?
Yeah, with the New Orleans horns.
I liked it a lot. You know what? No, I did.
Good.
I did like all the songs that you played for me from Lemonade.
You're goddamn right, you did.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
well,
because you're sane.
It's because I'm not a crazy person.
Yeah.
Well, neither is Beyonce. Just kidding. She's crazy talented.
She's crazy in love. That's a Beyonce song. You would know that if you listen to Beyonce.
Damn it, Kevin.